Let's talk about how to set your controls on your FLA. It's really simple. First thing we do is make sure your gain level is always set as low as possible. In this case, 0. You're good to go there, no problem. Now you need to understand the range settings. The range knob is also the on-off knob. On the left side is the white scale, which corresponds with the white scale on your main dial. If you go white scale 1, it's 0 to 20. White scale 2, 0 to 40. White scale 4, 0 to 80. So it's a multiplier as you go around. On the gold or yellow side, it's the inner wheel here, and it's 1 is 0 to 30, 2 is 0 to 60, and 4 is 0 to 120. So this system can function down to 120 foot of water without any problem at all. The reason you have so many different displays or options for settings is you want to maximize the size of the display so you can see more of what's down there. So let's first see, we're going to put our transducer in the hole here. We're going to turn the system on, and boom, there we are. We're in about 6 foot of water. I do want to clarify something here, that when you start fishing, you'll see this 0 line appear, and it'll have a big long tail here like this if the transducer is high up in the hole, which is one of the reasons why Vexilar supplies that suspending float, because if you put the transducer, now watch it go down, if the transducer down to the bottom of the ice, all that clutter will disappear. Now, when you're fishing in really deep water and you know that the fish aren't near the surface, you don't care about all this noisy stuff up here. You can just ignore it. But in shallow water applications, you want to get below the bottom of the ice, and the surface clutter, as we call it, goes away. And that makes it real simple to understand that. Now, here we have our depth reading shown here as 5 foot. Now, if I went to the 20-foot scale, everything gets smaller and smaller. And you say, well, I can't see anything there. That's because you selected the wrong range. You want to use the range that maximizes the display on the wheel. So if you're in 25 feet of water, you'll want to use the 30-foot scale. So you can get the maximum amount of display. The more space you give the bottom display on your wheel, the better the resolution can be. And the FL8 has the best resolution of 525 lines in the marketplace today. So you got the best there is, but if you don't set the range correctly to maximize the window, you're just going to be compressing your signal down smaller and smaller and smaller, and you won't be able to see anything. And that's one of the big advantages of why we have so many different depth ranges, 6 different depth ranges on your FL8. Now, you also have your interference rejection system. Now, the interference rejection system works like this. When you have it on, there's a little bit of a little red light there that says IR on, IR off. It'll always come on when you turn the system on. Some guys feel that the IR system has another option of making it even cleaner sometimes, to take the IR off. It's just a personal preference. It's more of a technical thing, but sometimes you can turn it off or turn it on. It might give you another option for cleaning up interference from other anglers. But normally you will always keep it in the on position. Now you simply push this button in. Now only one of you at a time needs to hit this IR button, because by pushing the IR button, it'll offset everyone around you, so you can use it. Now, this has 10 steps of interference rejection. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then recycles again. So you'll want to use the IR button only when you get interference from other anglers around you. And as long as we're looking at this display, people will say, well, what do you see down here? What is this all telling you? Basically, it's this, is that you always will have the surface outline here like I talked about. Then you have the first red line below that would be the bottom. In this case, it's 5 foot of water, depending upon how deep the transducer is in the hole. If the transducer in this case is down the hole 2 feet, it's actually 7 foot in depth. But that's a different matter. In fact, you could watch the depth go deeper as I take the transducer out of the hole, because the transducer is suspended down the hole. Okay, so if someone asks you how deep is the water, you need to ask them how deep the transducer is in the hole, because you can see I can change the actual depth by just putting the transducer higher in the water column or lower in the water column. The size of the tail, in other words, the longer the tail you see back on the back side of your signal, the softer the bottom is. If you see a very thin red line, that oftentimes signifies a hard bottom or rock or hard sand. The secondary signal you see out here is simply a double echo, because we're in such a powerful setting. And in this application, what I would normally do is I'd put on an S cable. And the S cable, as we've talked about before, is simply attach to the back side of your system like this, and attaches in like this. And now everything is, see how much cleaner everything is? Everything is exactly half of what you saw before. Now to get the same looking display, I turn it up 50%. See, I turned it up exactly half, and that gives you back that same display. That's what the S cable does. It cuts the output. Let's talk about one of the most important things you need to maintain on your Genspak system, and that is the battery. These are all 12 volt, 9 amp hour batteries. It'll power your Vexilar for over 3 days of use, but you want to make sure that you recharge your battery after every single use, because this is like a car battery. And if you fail to charge it on a regular basis, you will shorten the life of the battery. All Vexilar batteries are pro-rated from the day you purchase them, so you must take care of your battery. It'll give you years of great service if you do. Charging your battery is really simple. On the system, you will see the wires are already connected, so you won't have to do anything when you get your system. It's already ready to go. You turn the system on, you can start fishing. But it's got a quick charge jack, and here is your 1 amp fully automatic digital charger. This is a wall charger. You plug it into the wall, the green light will show up here, and it'll tell you that you got power. And then all you do then is you take your quick charge jack, plug it in, boom, and then this will turn to red. Now when the battery is fully charged, it'll turn back to green again. A lot of the instructions are right here on the charger, and of course there's a lot more details in the owner's manual if you want to how you take care of the system. Now if you ever need to get into your Genspak, you have to realize that there are 4 screws, 2 long and 2 short, so you don't want to mix them up. You don't want to put the long into the short side because it'll crack your case. So make sure you remember which ones were long and which ones were short. Then you take off these 2 screws that hold your transducer holder, and the battery can be removed. So you have to remove these 6 screws to have access to the system. The Vexilar battery that's in here is designed to be durable and last for many years.